right. What's up, G? How you? All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I feel like the family's grown a little bit. We got a great crowd this morning. Great to see everybody in 2024, as they say. As you guys know, we stop and gather every month to try to recognize all sorts of things, and I feel like we're going through the People's Choice Awards or Grammys or whatever the season is over here. We got all kind of goodies to go through this morning and start off our new year. So it's a good morning to be here, and I appreciate your time, appreciate you being a part of it. One of the first things that we do every month is we stop and celebrate our officer and employees of the month, and we're going to do that this morning to get our day started. Our officer of the month for November 2023, y'all know who it is? It's the only person who's worked here this long I have never shook her hand. Because you can't. Don't do that, right? It is Miss Susana Herrera. Would you step over here? It says on October 14th, my partner Susana Herrera and I were serving an order of protection. I was reading conditions of the order to the respondent, something I have done hundreds, if not thousands of times. Suddenly, I started repeating the conditions and then stopped, realizing that I was even changing the words a little bit. This is something I know by heart. Herrera started looking at me concerned, walked up, grabbed me by the arm, and asked if I was okay. I said, "What's going on?" She said, "What's going on?" I responded, "I think I may need some help. Can you do this one?" She finished service, and we began walking back to our cars. She asked how I was feeling and was on her phone already researching what might be the cause. Herrera immediately decided I need to go to the emergency department. I told her I was fine and let's go to the next stop. We did, but she continued to tell me I needed to go to the hospital. Being a little hard-headed, I told her I just need to eat. While eating, she persisted. After haggling over what to do with my weapon and all the other reasons why not to go, I finally agreed. When the summit admitting nurse began asking me what's going on, Herrera stepped in to explain my symptoms, and they immediately placed me in stroke protocol. They kept me at the hospital overnight and told me I had suffered a TIA and had a 90% blockage in my carotid artery. You were going to correct me, weren't you, guys? 12 days later, I had surgery. 3 weeks later, I was back to work. If it weren't for my partner, me and my doctors are certain I wouldn't be here today. I'm not sure how, it wasn't even me. I'm not sure how to express my gratitude for her persistence on October 14th, but I do want to make it clear. Mr. Hopkins says he owes his life to Miss Susana Herrera. Wow. Where's Hopkins at? Hang on one second, please. You need your picture, man. Let me hold that plate. Appreciate you. We forgot the good stuff. Here's 8 hours of leave. You just well deserve. Here's a ribbon for your uniform, and you have a tumbler at your seat as well, and thank you for a job well done. Thank you very much. I get to hang out before we come down here every time, and it's my favorite part of this because I always say, well, tell me your story. How did you get here? Where were you born? And what brought you here. And everybody has a unique story, and it just kind of it reminds me of my friend Jenny Charles years ago when she called us a bunch of misfits because we just all end up here and hopefully enjoy it once you get here. But Ms. Herrera's story is both honest and interesting. And many years ago, she said she was moving to Nashville and looking for a job, and she said she went down to government jobs that paid the most that she qualified for, and said, there it is, correctional officer. So in a recession back in 2005, I think it was, we're so grateful that you made that decision to do that. And not only Mr. Hopkins, but this agency and all the work that you do. And I'm so glad that she had children and want to make sure they have benefits, health care, and the things that some of us other knuckleheads didn't think a lot about back in those days. So happy you're here. I appreciate your work. All right, I'm going to present the Outstanding Service Ribbon, if you don't mind. Come up here and join me. Corporals Prescott Phillips, Mr. Bolden, and Mr. Brown. There we go. While escorting inmates to Nashville General Hospital, Corporals Bolden and Brown noticed a person, Phillips, Bolden, and Brown noticed a person walk into the physical therapy office from the main hospital straight into the restroom. The person did not speak with anyone or check in at the desk. This is also the restroom that the inmates would use while at their appointments. Once the individual exited the restroom, he immediately exited the clinic and again didn't speak with anyone. This behavior was seen as odd to the officers, and there was a public restroom, as these are public restrooms in the hospital. A decision was made that Corporal Phillips would go into the restroom and conduct a search for contraband, while Corporals Brown and Bolden stayed outside to monitor the inmates. While conducting the search, Corporal Phillips found a package in the trash can containing one phone charger, an adapter, a charging cable, a nut driver, 2 SIM cards, a yellow sticky note with 2 phone numbers, a PIN number, and a bag of white powdery substance the size of a ping pong ball. Investigations was notified, as were the facilities where these inmates were housed. A search there resulted in retrieving an iPhone and other drugs that tested positive for fentanyl and LSD. These drugs appeared identical to the powdery substance found at the hospital restroom. These 3 corporals, being vigilant about their surroundings, prevented an inmate from being able to take contraband into the facility and made DCSO a safer place for staff and inmates. I'm recommending these 3 corporals to receive the Outstanding Service Ribbons for their actions. Fantastic. Bolden, appreciate your work very much. Thank you very much. Ms. Phillips, thank you very much. Job well done. Ms. Brown, appreciate your work. Thank you very much. Let's get a picture. There we go. Job well done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Can I have Deputies Lugg, Johnson, Rickman, and Cantrell up here with me, please? Also going to present the Outstanding Service Ribbon to these 4 gentlemen. On December 16, 2023, DCSO warrant officers Cantrell, Johnson, Lugg, and Rickman were participating in the Donaldson Christmas Parade. During the parade, a vehicle was witnessed traveling on a blocked roadway in the wrong direction at a high rate of speed. Several parade officials and adults were trying to get the driver's attention to stop, but were unsuccessful. The vehicle came close to striking multiple small children, but they were pulled away from the vehicle's direction. At this point, DCSO officers accelerated around the participants in the parade in the direction of the vehicle in an attempt to stop it by preventing any injuries or possible fatalities. DCSO deputies assisted in blocking the vehicle in from the side using their marked vehicles. Deputies immediately approached the vehicle to determine what was going on. A female driver was very belligerent and wanted to know why she was blocked. The driver was instructed to put the vehicle in park and turn off the ignition. The deputies advised her there was a parade going on and asked her if she saw the parade officials and others trying to get her to stop. The driver stated she didn't know or care about any parade. She was advised that there was a parade happening and that she was very close to striking several small children. She became more agitated and continued to curse and be belligerent. The officers on the scene were able to flag down THP motorcycle units. With the quick thinking and response, these deputies potentially averted a tragic mass casualty event. Without any hesitation, they placed themselves in front of the dangerous situation to protect the public. These actions of all the deputies show great credit to themselves and to the Davidson County Sheriff's Office, which exemplify the core values of this agency. Good job, well done. Fantastic work. Thank you, Mr. Rickman. Appreciate you. There we go. Appreciate your work, Mr. Cantrell. Thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, guys. Ms. Johnson, thank you very much as well. Let's get our picture made. There we go. Thank you, guys. By the way, many of us were at the last minute toy store when that event occurred, and within 5 minutes or so of that all happening, the folks on the scene that were both in the public, the media, that weren't related to us at all, started taking pictures and snapping and crediting the work that the Sheriff's Office did, and it was out on, some days social media makes you look bad. Well, it made you look very good in our agency, and I really appreciate your attention to the detail of all that. Let's see if I can have Mr. Pulley, Mr. Weber, Mr. Jones, Mr. Lehman, Mr. Bone, Mr. Wyatt. These are horticulture. Ain't that right? Then I? Yes, sir. All right. All right. To date, the horticulture and arboriculture have delivered 17,371 pounds of produce and fruit to the following community agencies: Second Harvest Food, Families Program, Vine Hill Neighborhood Clinic, Percy Priest Clinic, and our newest partner, Dream Street. Beyond the produce and fruit, they staged over 3,000 trees again this year in collaboration with the Nashville Tree Foundation, Cumberland River Compact, Middle Tennessee Advisory Committee, and others to reach a city goal of 1 million trees planted by 2050. Lastly, they have improved and maintained the grounds of the headquarters, which has been an extended effort from when they started. It is important to recognize the staff for doing their job when most of the people don't know what all we do to contribute to the city of Nashville. Their efforts are year-round commitment to Nashville Sheriff's Office and our community, and I'd love to recognize them for their work. Fantastic job. Let's see. There we go. And they get the fancy spinner coin. Not everybody has one of these. Don't appreciate your work.
Are you ready to run for governor?
Bone, appreciate your work very much. Mr. Lehman, appreciate your work. Y'all doing great work no matter where you go. Appreciate your work. Thank you very much. Appreciate your work as well. Appreciate you. Gee, you did a good job, man. You're doing great work. All right. Let's give a picture, mate. Can we do that? I want my picture with G.
Yeah, no.
There we go. Thank you very much. Some people thought lieutenants couldn't be rehabilitated. Look at Mr. Bone, Mr. Lehman. We can change lives here. Who ever thought you'd see Mr. Bone planting a tree, huh? I've seen a lot of good things. Can I get Christy Bratcher up here? Where's Christy? The Tennessee Comptroller and University of Tennessee's County Technical Assistance Service developed a one-year program to provide Tennessee's county technical financial officers a certification in accounting and financial reporting principles. That's a whole bunch of nerdiness right there, I just want you to know. Understanding how county governments are structured in Tennessee, designed to enhance their skills in order to carry out responsibilities for the physical affairs of their county department. And Christy participated in the program and been our representative and done a great job and gets see, I told you it's a big deal. Look at this. There we go. So, there we go. Thank you, Christy. Great job. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you. Wow. How about all that? So, whether you're helping save your colleague or assisting in stopping people going silliness down the road or planting trees or helping maybe with that big certificate kill trees, just want you to just stop, you know. You should stop every now and then and celebrate the victories, and the victories are just good days and good things. There's a lot of bad in the world, a lot of bad things that happen, and unfortunately that's all we really hear about. So we want to stop every month and try to recognize all the work that goes on here. And I say this a lot, but I want you to really understand that the idea of these things are driven by your peers. I want you to let us know what's going on. What you may not know, we didn't know what happened to Kelvin Hopkins. Ms. Herrera didn't run around wanting credit for it. Mr. Hopkins didn't scream and saying, hey, look what happened to me. What happened was, as he was approaching what his next steps in life are going to be in some form of step or retirement, he wanted her to get credit for what had happened. And that's an obvious moment in your life, right? I mean, look how that impacted him. And I would hope you would do the same thing for the person who assisted you. So that might be obvious. What may not be obvious to you is there's a person right sitting next to you helping you do your job every day who may never speak a word or may never at least get you to go to the hospital when you need to, but they may help you do your job or help this agency do their job. And I know it sounds silly, but it's that person who deserves recognition as well. My favorite people, I told this story a lot, one of my favorite Employee of the Month things 20 years ago was someone who knew the kids' names of the people they worked with. Every day would ask how the kids are doing, how's Bill doing and Sarah doing, or whatever the names were, knew the birthdays, and just made that person feel like it was an important part of their life. So whatever your relationships are here, I hope you'll take time to find the men and women that we met today. Some of them be on social media, some of them be some quiet event, but I hope you'll stop. Let us know about it, recognize the person. It is proven that people will complain 10 times more than they will recognize. So when you want to complain about people here, and I think there's plenty of that goes on, I wish you'll stop and take time to pick these men and women like we have today. Makes them feel extremely proud to work here. I mean, all the work that goes into it. And I'm not taking anything away from what Ms. Herrera did. That deserves all the credit. We could go home with just that one. But there's a lot of things that go on here every day, from planting trees to helping this organization have a reputation in our city. So credit to everyone here. I hope you'll stop and take time to find the colleague that's helping you do your job, and we can take the time to recognize them next month or the following month. It is 2024, a lot happening as we start a new year anytime. These are boring things to most of you, but we are in the budget season. What that really means is us and the mayor's office are in conversations, of course, about where we are and where we're trying to go. There are things that are happening all the time that affect that, and we will surely keep you updated. There's some pieces to that as we go forward. We are trying to get our hands around. Met with our chiefs yesterday and said, here's the word I want you to say every other breath, and that is called staffing. Staffing in the correctional ranks and other ranks is the most important thing we're going to do, because it is the most difficult thing right now all over the country, not just here. We're throwing everything we can at trying to find better people, more people. We have some in class today. We have FOs, nearly 100 of them working out there. We have programs trying to recruit, and we're going to keep doing that. We're meeting this afternoon about retention. We're doing everything I know how to do. If you have some ideas, I welcome those, and we're going to keep trying to move the area, or move the agency towards the staffing challenges. Just to put it in perspective, these are boring to most of you. When I started as sheriff years ago, I had a goal of having 0 overtime. We got below $100,000 one year. Pretty big deal. Worked hard. We used to really be good at it way back then. That's 20 plus years ago. So $100,000 was a goal that we got to, or a level we got to. Last year we spent $3.4 million. And so what I want you to not hear in that, it's not your fault. We got to have people at work. And so we're paying people to work shifts, and some of you won't like to hear this. We're paying more than we should to work the shift, but you deserve it. If we don't have the bodies, you've got to pay overtime, right? That's not your fault. What my goal is to find where there's a little bit of overtime for you, but you're not having to work, not necessarily all of you, having to work people 16 hours a day every day, because we're running off good people in doing that. So just be aware. And the reason that impacts everybody else is if Ms. Pruitt has a position she wants to fill in education, we may not be able to let the person leave corrections because we can't afford to let the person go right now. So it locks our whole agency up. I'm just using Ms. Pruitt. Anybody else? Warrants. We can't always move people because we're so short in other divisions. And so the staffing of our jails is the core business we do. If we can't keep it staffed, it's going to impact everybody else in here. And so we're working very hard to do that. We've got to manage the overtime differently. We've got to find a way to hopefully get our budget of that under control, and we'll work to do that. I love this phrase. I met a man 100 years ago, maybe not that long, but he gave me this phrase. He said, "Nothing's permanent except change." We as an agency kind of got immune to or thinking we didn't have much change because we didn't for 20 plus years. And we've been through our share in the last 6 months. Organizational changes. I'm just like you. It's hard to walk in this building and not see Miss Price and Tony Wilkes and John Ford and Miss Francis. I mean, I've worked with them all my life. That's all I really know. But we have to move on. And the realities of that are both we can contribute or we can celebrate their contributions, but we have to move on. I was driving home last night. I was pulling out of here, and I get a little rattled. My life has changed dramatically too. I don't ask for I'm not whining about that, but a lot of things impact all of us, and so those changes feel awkward. And I'm pulling out of here, out of the parking lot last night, and see a few different cars parked where they normally would park because those aren't the same faces I used to see when they would come and go from here, and I'm feeling kind of pitiful. True story. I pulled out right here, pulled up to the red light, and I'm sitting at the red light. You know what I was looking at? That big god-awful stadium thing over there. You know what happened yesterday? And I don't know that I compare anything that they're doing, but everybody has massive change in their life, right? Some of it's good. This man was fired. He's going to make more money in his new job. I don't know. But that's dramatic change. You want to listen to the whole way home? Everybody calling the radio station complaining about change, right? And we're not a football team, and we're not exciting and all those things, but some of our changes make us feel awkward and different. And I'm just like you. But I do need, how many of you have seen the movie We Are Marshall? Anybody seen the movie? Great movie, by the way. True story. There's a scene in that movie. Matthew McConaughey, is that how you say his name? He's a weird dude, I think, because I saw that movie first, and I can't change what I think about him. A great scene in that movie. They're at the cemetery, and they're about to go play. And he says, "No more funerals. They end today." And they get in a bus and they go win some games, I think. We need to move on. It's January. We have plenty of good people who are going to do really good things. Look at what we just celebrated. So we've had some funerals, we've had some changes, but it's time to move on. And we're going to do some more really, really good things. So I appreciate your effort and your work, but I need your help as we go through the next several months and get the agency, as I call it, Humpty, put back together again. So I hope you'll help me get there. We've got too many good things going on to not let that happen. Chief West? Chief Joyner? Chief Raines, can't find you in there. Chief Raines, you have anything? Chief Hudson? Any other chiefs, any other bodies, any other people? Anybody have anything? Yeah, that was a dirty word, I think. Maybe we'll prepare for that. Mike, put you on the spot, is that right?
No, it's fine. We served almost 6,000 children.
6,000. Great work. And everybody in here, Justin and all your team and Mike, of course, in the history of this thing, and Melinda, they're on the board, just so you know, kind of on but all of you, I see Carmen Turks every year. I don't know why, but I see her out there, and there's just something about, I don't know why. I'm kind of weird like this. But it always brings some good to me, and watching the families get to see and if you want to call it this, have something they never would have had. And all of the work that goes into that, every person that I know of, my family's all involved, at least volunteering. Nick Barris, who's kind of a knucklehead, he's so quirky and weird and awkward, he's never very serious. And I do this morning show over there, and last month or two before we're going into that, and on the break between the show, you know, he just said, look, I've done everything in Nashville you can do, you know, from the work of volunteering and helping. And he said, it's the most moving experience I have. And he said, I will do it for the rest of my life. So he was all wound up to go. My mom does that, and they kind of cut up a little bit. But anyway, so he was ready to go and going to do stuffed animals. He'd already told me all that. I have no control of that. That's Melinda's job or somebody to assign them, but he was going to do the stuffed animals. So I get this text at midnight on whatever night before they're supposed to start, and he's having emergency sinus surgeries, faces wide open, and so he's sending proof. Look, I can't make it, look at me, you know. And so, but my point is, it's a moving experience for the people who volunteer. It's a moving experience for the people who get to be a part of it. I was leaving that morning to go to Saturday morning to go over to the Last Minute Toy Store, and I had on some kind of shirt that had the logo on it. I don't remember, or jacket. And I go to this real fancy place sometimes called Waffle House, and so I was running in there, had breakfast, and I was paying my way, and I had this shirt on, and this woman who was cooking behind the counter, she turned around and she saw that, and she kept looking at it, and she goes, do you work there? At this logo. And I looked and said, kinda. I don't know what I was trying to say, kinda. And she said, that's the most amazing thing. She said, it saved my Christmas last year. And I said, she said, my kids, and I love the fact that that's still happening, and what can I do to help? Now here it is Saturday morning, she's working at Waffle House. And so, kind of a cool little story. The next weekend, I was asked several months back to speak at a church at a pancake breakfast. And so the pancake breakfast is a cool event. I've been 30-something years in a row. Take my kids, it's all men, and you're supposed to eat pancakes and go shopping because you haven't shopped for your wife until that late in the game, so that's what they tell you to do. So we're all there, there's 200 people there, but this year I was going to speak, and so I do that, which was a cool thing I got to do. I liked the event anyway. And so at the end of the event, which is unusual, the people that run the thing walked over and gave me a card. And so we drive away. I wasn't paying attention. I put on my coat and walked out, and we drove away. And so I thought it was a Christmas card. I'm driving. It's an hour later. My sons and I have this tradition. We go deliver baskets that day, and we're out driving around Nashville and all that. And so midway through the morning, I look down, and maybe I threw it on the thing. I don't know. But my sons or someone opened it up and said, hey, look, Dad, golly, look here. It was $250. Well, first thing, I have a policy. I don't accept anything to speak. I have been offered that before, and I will donate it to the event that you're at. I'm an hour later. There is no such place to go hand this money back to that I know of. It was cash money. So I was struggling with what to do. So we headed to Waffle House and went back in because it's a healthy place to eat. And so me and my sons had breakfast, and then we got up, we paid our deal, and I gave the $250 and said, can you get that woman right there the money? So the point I'm making to you is not about me, it's about what that did for this woman. And you know what she was telling me? I don't need it this year. Right? She was so proud. She said, they helped me last year while she's cooking back behind this thing. And I just thought about, she wasn't saying, what can I get? Some people, you know, the toy store does amazing work, but it impacts people you don't ever know. And I don't think she would have known, or I surely wouldn't have known. And I was kind of proud of her too, you know. Here she was working and was beyond the steps of maybe the depth of her problem. So just a great event. I love to watch our agency kind of get out of the mood of doing what we do and changing kind of our attitude. So if you can be a part of it, Melinda, Mike, and others do a lot of work year-round on the board, and then as we all get back around to that, I think some 900 volunteers by the end of the time. So a lot of work goes into that. What else we got? Anybody? Man, we got a full house. I hope we got enough food out there. Everybody's, All right, well, let's go have a great month, a great 2024. I appreciate all your work. Thank you very much. Management unit back in here in 5 or 10 minutes.